Just table read. All right. Sunset Alley is a 1-hour drama pilot. I'm going to read the log line and then we'll jump into the read. All right. So long line is, in an effort to escape an eccentric community of elderly one-hit wonders, a Black former child actress threatens the reboot of the 1960s franchise and the dangerous producer that made her famous. All right, and we will jump right into the read, Tatiana, whenever you're ready to go.
Sunset Alley, written by Sam Watson. Teaser, fade in. Interior expensive home, living room, night. Super, Los Angeles, late 1960s. Everything inside this oversized home is an abundance of wealth. That includes the party of people who fill it. White faces, perfect white teeth, soft hands. Bottles of champagne pop open. There's an open bar by a fireplace. Servers, all minorities, roam about with trays filled with tiny hors d'oeuvres. These are the elite of Hollywood, and they're having a damn good time. But genuine laughter echoes over all of this shallow smoozing, and that laughter comes from interior, expensive home, parlor, continuous. Through the fog of cigar smoke, laughing wealthy white men fixate on a little Afro-sporting Black girl who stands on top of the mahogany chair. This is child Fiona Swanson, 8. Child Fiona devours the men's laughter and bows as if she just concluded a performance. One of them, Brad Jenkins, 20s, white, flicks the ashes off his cigar, even though there's nothing to catch them. He's engrossed in whatever she just told them.
And you're telling us that's a true story.
Child Fiona flashes her widest smile.
Gotta keep him guessing.
She winks. More laughter. Joe Swanson, 20s, Black, and Belle Swanson, 20s, Black, burst through the door. Their off-the-rack suits and dresses don't quite fit. They squeeze past a couple of the men to get to their daughter. Their insecurity is apparent.
Mom, Fiona, we're leaving.
Child Fiona gives a deep pout.
But I want to stay.
Fiona, get off that chair and make sure you don't scuff it on the way down.
Child Fiona does as her mother demands, but before they can leave, Brad steps up to them.
Wait, who are you?
Oh, I'm Joe Swanson. I'm a janitor at the studio. Mr. Lambert said I could come.
He searches the room hopelessly.
It's okay. I believe you.
He points down at child Fiona.
That's quite a daughter you got there. People like me, all of us in this room, really, spend all day with others trying their best to entertain us. It's tiresome. But your daughter has managed to grab and keep our attention for the past 15 minutes.
What are you getting at?
Brad grabs a lamp off the end of the table and holds it over child Fiona like a makeshift spotlight. She smiles from ear to ear, right on cue.
See that? She sparkles in the spotlight.
Brad hands Joe a business card.
Call my office. I have an idea.
The card says, Brad Jennings, Lambert Studios producer. Interior film set day. Brad stands with the production crew behind the camera, which faces a set built to look like any standard 1960s living room.
Action.
A father and mother stand before a couch where child Fiona sits as the character Lacey Moon, all gumption and chemically straightened hair. Her pout could reach China.
What's bugging Lacey this time?
I don't know. She won't tell me.
Lacey breaks the fourth wall by mugging straight into the camera with mischievous smile and undeniable charm.
Gotta keep him guessing.
She winks, laughter from everyone behind the camera. Exterior Los Angeles street, night. A limo stops at the red light on the empty street surrounded by apartment buildings on both sides. Interior limo night. Super, 2 years later. Child Fiona, now 10, giggles as she blows bubbles in the face of her agent, Lori Gallen, 20s, Black, who counters with soapy attack with a bubble stick of her own. Lori sports straightened hair. Brad and Charles Lambert, 20s, white, drink cocktails. Charles' sharkskin fitted suit might as well be his skin.
I just don't see a big market for Lacey Moon merchandise.
Brad bristles, but
Film is woven into the very bones of Lambert Studios. My father will laugh me out of the business if I tell him we should invest in dolls.
Brad's not having it. He knocks on the divider separating them from the unseen driver.
I don't care if that light turns green. Don't move.
The road isn't the place for my client to play your games, Brad.
But he ignores her and turns to child Fiona.
Fiona, dear, why don't you go out there and perform the little number from the first film, Act 1?
The excited child tosses her bubble stick to the floor. Exterior Los Angeles street night. Child Fiona stands under a lamppost like it's a spotlight built just for her. She's animated, immersed in character.
They say I'm too old to have an invisible friend. What do they know? They introduced us, so our bond will never end.
Windows from the apartment start to open one by one. The child's voice draws spectators who point in awe the moment they recognize her.
She's louder, she's bolder, she's even a bit colder than they'd like me to be. A bad influence, that's exactly who they don't want to see.
Child Fiona lifts her hands high and wide, and her fans rain applause down on the actress. Interior limo continuous. Lori watches the spectacle, impressed. Charles turns to Brad.
Okay, I'll make sure production starts on those Lacey Moon dolls.
Brad mulls something over and then...
Lighten the skin by a couple shades.
Interior Brad Jennings' home, living room night. Super, 4 years later. There's a fireplace covered with gems in a golden flame. 2 Oscars sit front and center on the shelf above it. There are golden curtains, a crystal chandelier. Teen Fiona, 14, cowers in a chair across from Brad, who graces a royal red couch. A coffee table is between them.
And the doc's sure, without a doubt.
Teen Fiona nods. Brad sneers.
Lacey Moon is not the type of girl that gets knocked up. Your fans won't accept it. No more movies, no more merchandise, no more spotlight.
The girl cowers even more. Brad puts a wooden box on the table. It's labeled Fiona Swanson. He opens it and keeps it facing himself.
Most people hate paperwork, but I love it. It takes something huge in concept and boils it down to sentences on the page.
Brad picks up a pile of legal papers.
This is what it looks like to hold a film franchise. Want to hear what it sounds like when I tear it apart?
I won't kill it, but I'll give it up.
A satisfied grin, Brad returns the pages to the box.
We'll begin production early, before you start the show. Then you'll stay with some friends on the East Coast for the duration of your ordeal. Does the father know?
Yes.
Can he be trusted if we compensate him to keep quiet and go away?
Fiona doesn't appear so sure.
If compensation doesn't work...
Brad spins the box around, and right there on top of the paperwork is a gun.
I'll convince him.
Brad shuts the box with a pleased smile. Interior green room day. Teen Fiona sits in a chair in front of a mirror while stylist applies makeup. A poster hangs on the wall. It's for a 4th What's Bugging Lacey Moon film. She stares at her reflection, her eyes dull. A tear streams down Teen Fiona's cheek, just as Lori joins them.
Give us a second.
The stylist obliges. Lori wipes away the tear.
You promised you weren't going to tell him, Lori.
Lori grabs a brush and starts to reapply foundation that was ruined by the moisture.
I did it to protect Lacey. I owe her everything. We both do. Look, when I'm feeling low and unlike myself, I like to repeat a mantra, a single word or phrase that helps to bring me back to the surface. Just give it a try.
The teen thinks and locks eyes with her reflection.
Action.
She tries to cough away any phlegm.
Action.
Her features begin to brighten at the sound of the words.
Action.
A smile forms along with that lacy moon sparkle.
Action.
End of teaser. Act 1, Interior the Gallen Agency, Office Suite Day. Super, present day. A receptionist perpetually overwhelmed types away behind her desk at a computer while an overhanging TV shows an anchor from the local news.
This week marks the 50th anniversary of What's Bugging Lacey Moon, and we've just learned that there's a television reboot of the famed franchise in development.
The report fills the receptionist with panic.
Shit.
She picks up her desk phone and dials with speed.
Shit.
Her call connects.
She's coming.
Interior the Gallen Agency conference room day. Celebrating employees clap under a hanging banner which reads Happy 50th anniversary. But one employee hangs up her cell phone and shushes everyone.
Quiet down.
She rips down the banner.
Hide the cake and turn off the lights. She's coming.
She rushes over to the door and shuts it. Interior Gallen Agency hallway day. Fiona Swanson, 58, wearing the same hairstyle as her Lacey Moon character, steps up to the hanged frame photo. It shows child Fiona. She's one giant bright smile and stands with Brad and Lori outside of a theater showing What's Bugging Lacey Moon. Fiona blows dust away from the photo and marches down the hallway with determination. A sea of similar framed photos with Lacey Moon posters hang on both sides. Fiona makes it to the elevators when the receptionist rushes up to her. She goes to speak, but...
Where is Lori?
She's in a meeting right now, but you have to...
I just learned about this reboot from that idiot box in my living room instead of from my agent.
Mr. Diamond is your agent.
This matter is too important for that low-level imbecile. I demand to speak with Lori.
I'm sorry, Miss Swanson, but someone else already wants to see you.
Who?
The company lawyer.
Interior the Gallen Agency conference room day. The employee from earlier watches Fiona leave with the receptionist. She sighs with relief, flicks the lights back on, and turns to the rest of her hiding coworkers.
All right, we're clear. Get that cake back out here.
Employee number 2 puts a cake on the table. The frosting on top is a photo of Lacey Moon's winking face. Text, thanks, Lacey. Interior the Gallen Agency office day. Fiona sits across from a lawyer, 40s, balding, power tie. She reads a check, but suddenly grips her back in pain.
Are you okay, Miss Swanson?
Yeah, it's just my back hurts from shoveling this bullshit.
This is more than a generous gesture from Lambert Studios, especially after you sabotaged their last attempt at a Lacey Moon production. That slow-moving iceberg of misfortunes cost them a lot of money.
Only God can captain an iceberg. You saying I'm God?
A snicker sounds out. Fiona glares at Brad, who is now in his 70s with a distinguished gray hair and a Botox smile. Shine. He sits apart from them as if he's above it all.
I think Russ is frozen.
He froze. I'll carry it on. God wouldn't have your wrinkles, and he'd test well in Middle America.
Lacey wouldn't exist without me. She wouldn't have value without me. The reboot should be my spotlight.
You only had value because I decided to give you value.
Brad nods to the lawyer, who retrieves a legal document.
This is a joint restraining order on behalf of the Gallen Agency and Lambert Studios. It's not filed yet. We prefer for you to take the check as acknowledgement for your past work instead of doing this through the courts, out of respect to you.
Respect?
Fiona sneers at a poster of Lori on the walls. The text, Lori Gallen, a pioneer in her field.
When my tits wouldn't deflate after the pregnancy, Lori dumped me onto a revolving door of her underlings.
A 14-year-old girl shouldn't make it impossible for men to balance a bucket of popcorn on their laps.
Bra size isn't an inadequate measure of someone's wholesomeness. You Gallen imbeciles might do an inadequate job of it, but you still do represent me.
Lambert Studios provides a lot of work for our clients. We need... Get out.
Get out.
The lawyer obeys like an obedient puppy, shuts the door.
Take the goddamn check, Fiona.
Brad takes out his phone and tosses it to Fiona.
Or we go nuclear with this.
The phone shows a selfie of an actress behind the scenes on set. Fiona is clearly seen in the background.
I'm not sure how you managed to get on set, but there you are where you aren't supposed to be. The same day, 6 crew members and 7 actors mysteriously get food poisoning. We can have you arrested if you push us.
Fiona doesn't give an inch.
I still remember that box you showed me, the one with my name on it.
Brad grins at this.
I have one with your name on it too. Sits next to my margarita maker.
Fiona tosses Brad's phone into a nearby trash can. She reads the frustration that cracks through his Botox.
You know, I read that Lambert's Chinese investor might pull its funding soon.
She tears the check in half.
You'll need this chump change if that happens.
Interior the Gallen Agency conference room day. The employee carries a paper plate to the table, but...
Where's the cake?
She looks up and through the window spots Fiona entering an elevator with the whole cake in her hands.
Hey, you can't take that.
My goddamn face is on it, isn't it?
The elevator doors close. Exterior cul-de-sac night. This cul-de-sac is hidden away in the small corner of the city, like Hollywood's ugly stepchild. The mansions range from medium to petite. Look close enough and you'll see all sorts of wear and tear and tricks to make the houses look larger than they actually are. A spotlight shines up into the sky outside of a music club. The sign out front, Residents Open Mic Night. Interior Music Club Night. Low light sets a relaxed mood. The vintage decor hints back to the 1960s. Bar stool tables fill the middle of the room while booths line the sides. Up on the stage, under the bright spotlight, is Cedric, 70s. He wears magician attire, top hat, black suit, white gloves. He whips off his hat, reaches inside, and pulls out a white rabbit, Bun. She's also in matching attire. Smattering applause from the audience, all older folks. Cedric shields his eyes from the spotlight.
Can we lower that?
It doesn't dim, so he raises his hands and claps twice. The spotlight cuts out, leaving just the normal stage lighting. Stage left. Confusion fills a lighting technician behind an electrical board. Main stage, Cedric continues.
And now that Bun has graced us with her mystical presence, we shall perform a trick so...
His eyes glaze over as a fog of confusion envelops him.
Where is...
Thank you, Cedric.
June Mayer, 50s, white, seems to come out of nowhere. She guides, shoves, really, Cedric to the side of the stage.
You can leave now.
They disappear left of stage, only for June to return a second later, the whites of her teeth on full display.
Now let's turn that spotlight back up.
It brightens and she soaks in every particle. June holds up a book like she's presenting the 10 Commandments to the crowd. It's a romance novel. The cover features a mixed race couple in a sensual embrace.
I now ask that everyone please turn off your cell phones. You all have the privilege of hearing excerpts from my new book before it's released. It would be a shame to share spoilers to those not here tonight.
June opens to a bookmark page in her novel, finds her spot, and begins to read, but laughter stunts any of her words before they can form.
Excuse me?
More laughter.
Stop that right now.
The entire crowd doubles over. June doesn't see anything out of the ordinary until she turns around. Someone dressed in a Bigfoot costume does a jig and humps the air.
you?
June grabs the Bigfoot by its fake fur.
You are not doing this to me again.
June manages to lead the Bigfoot to the edge of the stage, where it loses its balance and tumbles off to the floor. Even louder laughter. Patrice Raines, 60s, drops down next to Bigfoot. She could pass for an Elvira knockoff with her goth attire. She removes the costume's head to reveal Fiona. She's passed out. A tequila bottle sticks out of her costume. Patrice peeks up at June, who seethes on the stage.
God damn it, Fee!
Interior Fiona's home, living room day. The room is bigger than most. There's even space for a tiny bar area with a counter, shelf of hard liquor, and a margarita maker. But the oversized crystal chandelier and the double wide curved staircase make it feel cramped. Fiona's in a deep sleep, her face peaceful. She stirs and stretches her arms with a big yawn. She tries to roll to her right, but she can't. The left is a no-go too. Her eyes flutter open, and it's clear why. She's lying inside of an open coffin, her face one big nope. She yells and sits straight up, hyperventilating.
Calm down, Fee, Jesus.
Patrice rushes into the room with 2 mugs of coffee.
It's just one of my sleeping bags.
Fiona shakes the flimsy sides and she calms. Patrice places a coffee next to her and sits on the couch.
Figured that bag cleans easier than your bed, in case you puked.
Fiona gathers herself and grabs the coffee.
You shouldn't have done that to June last night.
Why am I the only one here who recognizes that having the last name Mayer doesn't make her one?
Being head of the homeowners association does. There's all sorts of shit June could start finding you for. Drive you right out of here.
Fiona turns to the TV just in time to catch a commercial. There's a shoe store on screen, a Bigfoot, Fiona's costume, tries on a large shoe, and it is elated when it fits.
We got a shoe for every size here at the Bigfoot Shoe Outlet.
Patrice fills with sympathy as she watches Fiona.
I saw the news about the reboot. You should go to group today.
Oh, not interested in that particular circle jerk.
Fiona staggers out of the coffin, takes a moment to...
Look, it'll show June you feel remorseful about last night. Plus, everyone there can relate to you. This whole community can be a shoulder if you let it.
Fiona wanders over to the bar area.
Sunset Alley is a 2-block stretch of has-beens and one-hit never-agains.
Stop it, Fee.
Fiona retrieves a box from under the counter and places it on top. The name Brad Jennings graces the lid.
Rats feasting in the dumpsters of Hollywood because they're too dumb to realize they've been tossed out with the trash. That's what this town thinks of us. I don't need a shoulder to cry on. I need the proper spotlight so I can remind everyone of the power of Fiona Swanson.
Fiona opens the box to reveal a gun.
And if no one gives you that spotlight, you're going to keep lashing out? Burn it all down? You included?
Dramatically, with plenty of drink.
Fiona shuts the box.
Lacey, Moon, Bigfoot, it doesn't matter. Fiona Swanson means something.
Not if no one cares to look.
Just come to group. Let us help you get through this.
Fiona sighs, tired of the back and forth.
Fine.
Interior Recreation Center Community Room Day. Coffee and snacks fill a fold-out table. They are for the small group of residents that sit in a circle on metal chairs. Patrice and Cedric are among them, no Fiona. Cedric, who holds celery for Bun Bun to chew, addresses Philip, 50s, sweater vest, clipboard, and pen.
Can you please put in a good word for me too, June? Bun Bun made an accident on her shoes, and now she wants her out of the community.
I'll see what I can do, Cedric.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
Patrice sneers at the empty chair next to her. Interior grocery store day. Fiona fingers through birthday cards at the end of an aisle until she finds one marked for a daughter. She takes it and turns to leave. But a mom, white, and her child, 7, white, catch her attention in the aisle. The mom carries a shopping basket while the child holds 2 dolls in each hand, one white and one black.
You can only have one, honey.
Which one you think she'll pick?
Holly Holden, early 30s, steps up next to Fiona. She's black with natural hair, styled in a frohawk. She wears a dark blue trench and holds a magazine. She's focused on the child, studying each doll.
White one, obviously.
No, wait for it.
The child raises the white one. The mom oozes with horror.
Want the black one?
She takes the white doll and stuffs it behind magazines.
If anyone at Yoga for Tots asked you, you pick this out yourself.
The child gives a sad nod.
How did you?
Her basket only had avocados. You know how these fashion-forward progressives are.
The mom places the black doll in the basket.
It's just another avocado.
Fiona watches with fascination as the mom and the child leave. Holly taps on the magazine in her hand.
Should be you on this cover.
The text, who will the next Lacey Moon be? It shows a little girl, but whose face is blank.
50th anniversary, and they don't even have the decency to honor the original.
The cover stirs Fiona's anger.
You're not wrong.
A sheepish grin overtakes Holly.
Sorry, I don't want to be one of those people who sees someone famous and it's just, I grew up in your hometown and I'm sure as anything there's parades scheduled all week in your name.
The abject joy in Holly's eyes from being in an actress's presence is clear, and it mesmerizes Fiona.
You busy tonight? There's something I'd like to show you.
Exterior Fiona's home, driveway night. Holly's Jeep pulls up behind Fiona's car, a relic, 1970s Stutz Blackhawk. Its brakes don't catch right away. There's a general mechanical squeal from somewhere inside its body, and it's lost its shine 2 decades ago. They exit their vehicle, and Holly studies Fiona's home with glee. It has the biggest balcony in the neighborhood.
This ain't like a Make-A-Wish situation, right? I don't secretly have cancer.
I don't think my usual drinking partner's in the mood, so I'm tagging you in.
It's so fancy.
The houses around here are the best that dwindling residuals can buy.
They start towards the front door. Interior Fiona's home, shrine room night. There is Lacey Moon paraphernalia everywhere. Old movie posters with the catchphrase, "Gotta keep 'em guessing." Dolls too light to resemble Fiona. There's even a throne with the engraving, "Lacey's Throne." Fiona reaches into a closet and pulls out a box. She opens it to reveal a pile of birthday cards. She drops the newest inside and slides it back out of sight. She turns to find Holly awestruck by the Maplewood baby grand piano. A whiskey bottle sits on a full moon that's painted on top.
Holy shit. Is that
from the very first Lacey Moon movie? The whiskey's a new purchase, though. That's our fun tonight.
Holly extends a finger toward the piano key, but hesitates like touching it might burn.
Go on.
Holly presses the key. Ding. She smiles as the note vibrates through her. She sits and plays. She's good.
My dad and I loved your movies. He even borrowed a VHS collector's edition of all 5 from his precinct's evidence locker.
Holly takes a flask out of her jacket's inside pocket.
This was his. Might raise his ghost if Lacey Moon herself drank from it.
She extends the flask to Fiona, who knocks back a shot. Holly continues to play.
Man, blew my mind seeing someone who looked like me acting the way Lacey did. Free, unrestrained, the shit you said to white folks.
Holly snickers at the memory as Fiona sits next to her, and she places the flask on the piano. She positions her fingers over the keys on her side.
Can you actually play?
No one bothered to try and teach me back then. Oops, sorry.
No one bothered to try and teach me back then.
Fiona plays a few notes. She's good too.
But I'm Fiona Swanson. The piano never stood a chance.
Holly retrieves a business card from her pocket. It has her contact information. She hands it to Fiona.
I'm definitely going to need an autograph.
Holly opens the whiskey bottle and takes a big swig. Fiona drops the business card on the piano.
After the festivities, dear.
Fiona starts playing and Holly joins in. It's an all-out jam session. The women's buzzed laughter mixed in with the music. Interior Fiona's home, living room, night. Fiona, lying on her couch, groans as her eyes peek open. The world's a haze, but she can make out a shape of a person lounging in a chair across from her. Fiona rubs her eyes, the haze lifts a little, and the person becomes clear. It's the dead body of a Black woman, 70s, and there's a gunshot wound in her belly.
What?
Fiona squints with all her might through the haze until the Black woman's elderly face becomes clear.
Lori?
Fiona looks down at her own hands and finds her gun. She wants to scream, but she passes out. End of Act 1. Act 2. Interior Brad's home, living room, night. Flashback. The fancy room threatens to dwarf child Fiona, who gazes at all of it with head held high. Her eyes land on a single Oscar on a shelf over the fireplace, and they fill with desire.
Shoes off, everyone.
Brad shuts the door behind child Fiona, Joe, Belle, and Lori. They all remove their shoes while Brad keeps his on, while he walks over to a bottle of whiskey and a few glasses on the coffee table.
I would have had you over sooner, but the carpet was still being installed.
Joe and Belle dig their feet into the velvet carpet and wiggle their toes.
So soft.
Brad sits in his leather chair and pours himself whiskey. He motions for child Fiona to sit in the chair opposite him on the other side of the table.
That was one of the best premieres I've ever attended. You had the audience in stitches the whole time.
Child Fiona beams at the compliment and takes her seat. Lori lounges on the couch with the whiskey.
With the proper spotlight, you'll be able to enthrall audiences for years to come.
Child Fiona parents place hands on her shoulders with pride.
You really think so?
Let our star have some of your drink.
Are you sure?
Lori looks to the parents with uncertainty.
Tonight is just a taste of what your girl will bring. You two look like swimmers. There's a heated pool out back.
Joe and Belle light up with pure excitement.
I'm sure a little sip won't hurt.
Belle tugs Joe away to go find the pool.
Want that drink?
Fiona nods, and Lori's uncertainty grows. But Brad clears his throat, and her uncertainty fades away. He offers her whiskey to child Fiona, who takes it.
Fee, you gotta wake up.
End of flashback. Interior Fiona's home, living room, night. Fiona lets loose a groan on the couch as her eyes flutter open to find Patrice staring down at her with utmost worry.
Oh, thank gods.
Fiona sits up.
What the hell happened here?
Fiona winces at the pain in her head.
A good time, which must have come to an end if you're here.
Fee?
That woman sure could play.
Fiona mimics playing piano keys.
Listen, what the hell?
She may have been better than me.
Jesus, is that why you shot her?
What?
Confusion slams Fiona.
What are you talking?
Fiona's eyes fall on the chair where the dead body has been.
Oh, dear Lord. That wasn't. Where is she?
Interior Fiona's home, living room, night. Fiona tenses as Patrice drags the Bigfoot costume out from behind the bar. It's obviously full. Patrice pulls off the head and Fiona gasps at the dead body of an elderly Lori Gallen.
I came over to cheer you out for a skipping group and found you two. I panicked.
Lori's face lures in Fiona. It's so blank, used up and dry of life. Fiona's right hand trembles.
My gun. I remember holding.
It's in the costume.
I didn't do this.
You have no idea how relieved that makes me. Not that I thought you had. Well,
Fiona kneels in front of Lori. The emptiness in the dead woman's eyes spark a deep fear in Fiona's. Tears form.
I got here about 10 minutes before this cop came. Said there was an anonymous tip about a gunshot. Told him we'd just been drinking till the full moon at night. Heard nothing.
Fiona flicks away her tears.
Do you not remember anything that happened with Lori?
It's all a blank. I just remember having drinks with.
A knock at the front door. The women nearly jump out of their bodies.
I know you're in there, Fiona. I can smell the liquor on your breath.
What do we do?
Fiona springs to her feet.
Put the head back on.
Patrice secures the head over Lori.
Get her out of sight.
Fiona walks over to the door, glances back at Patrice, who strains to drag Lori behind the bar counter. June knocks harder. Fiona cringes like it's nails on a chalkboard. She opens the door. June stands there, fist raised, about to knock again.
What do you want?
June's eyes dart around the living room, spots Patrice leaning against the bar counter.
Why was there a cop here tonight?
The Badges finally decided to follow up on my complaints about our overbearing HOA president.
June narrows her eyes. Fiona doesn't give an inch.
Your hearse sits uncovered in your driveway yet again.
Patrice shifts with discomfort about the bar encounter, against the bar encounter.
Something of note sequestered my attention tonight. I forgot to use the tarp. Sorry.
I am only overbearing because your sloppiness requires it of me.
June, satisfied with her dig, turns on her heels and strolls away. Fiona slams the door shut.
Again, what the hell do we do?
Fiona shakes off June's encounter and circles around the bar to the body. She removes the Bigfoot head and steps back from Lori's blank face.
Mix us up a couple of your whiskey sours.
Seriously? Cocktails? Now?
Now seems like a perfect time.
I just want to make sure your more self-destructive tendencies aren't going to overtake this situation.
An unexpected vulnerability surfaces in Fiona.
She didn't do enough to protect me. And then she abandoned me.
Her vulnerability morphs into anger.
My life is my ship to crash. I won't let her sink me for something I didn't do. Come.
Interior Fiona's home, shrine at night. Fiona leads Patrice into the room. Fiona scans the area until she locates Holly's business card, which sits still atop the piano. She picks it up.
I brought home a stray tonight. I meant to sign this for her.
Wait. Someone else was here with you?
Fiona takes out her cell phone and dials.
What if she did this?
She's a PI. She could help. Plus, she's an adoring fan.
Christ, you're still drunk.
Patrice rips the phone out of Fiona's hand.
It's too risky. We need to think this through.
Interior Fiona's home, living room day. Daylight sneaks in through the edges of the curtains that cover the front window. On the couch, Fiona sips from a cocktail while Patrice drinks coffee. They're deep in silent thought until...
We shoot Lori's body into a demon dimension. No one will find it there.
But where will we find an interdimensional cannon to do it?
Interdimensional canon was one of your weaker films.
Patrice shrugs.
The next 6 were all right.
Resentment stirs Fiona.
The Gallen agency. Lori's gone, but she's got a whole building with her name on it. A giant concrete and steel bullhorn that shouts, "Remember me."
Fiona drinks. A knock at the door rattles the women. They freeze. Knock. They rush over to the window and peek outside. Fiona seethes with anger at the sight of June sharing a laugh with Brad.
What now?
See?
Fiona follows Patrice's eyeline across the street, where Cedric squints inside a hearse through its tinted windows.
Cedric could prove to be a proper distraction.
Go, around back.
Patrice runs out of the living room. Fiona takes a deep breath and opens the door to face June, Brad, and Wade, 30s, black, tall, muscular fellow, his jaw is wired shut. The moment Fiona starts to speak.
Oh, isn't it wonderful, Fiona? Brad has chosen our community to be featured in the Lazy Moon reboot.
Fiona cannot fucking believe it.
Well, that's not completely true.
Oh, yes, he's chosen your home to be exact. Surprisingly, of course, he just needs to inspect the decor.
I woke up this morning and thought that this would be the perfect home for the new Moon family. Even called off the scouting team.
Fiona digs her thumbnails into her index finger.
No.
Now, if Mr. Jennings features your home, there's a chance the rest of our little community might also end up on screen. You don't want to ruin this for all of us, do you?
June motions to a crowd of residents that is formed behind them. Every single excited eyeball is glued to Brad, but Fiona's eyes slide right over to Patrice, who hurries to Cedric at the hearse. At exterior Patrice's home, driveway continuous. Black curtains cover every window of Patrice's home.
Cedric!
Her shout startles the old man. He backs away from the hearse, which bears the license plate, Scream Queen 73.
Are you having an episode again?
No, nothing like that. It's just, can I hide Bun Bun from June in here? These tinted windows are perfect.
Living inside of a hearse? That might be a little too existential for the little gal to handle.
Cedric's shoulders slump.
You're right. I wouldn't want her to get nightmares and for them to return.
He starts to walk away, but...
Wait. You wouldn't happen to have Bun Bun on your person right now.
Exterior Fiona's home continuous. Brad studies Fiona's hair.
That haircut still looks good on you.
June shakes her own hair in an attempt to get Brad's attention.
Took 2 weeks of poking and prodding for your team to make it perfect.
But it was worth it. You loved it.
The fans did. Yeah, it was worth it. Eesh, you could use some poking and prodding yourself.
Wade grunts. Brad invades Fiona's personal space.
You know what being in my purview can offer. They'll drive you out if I wish it.
Fiona scans the faces of her hopeful neighbors.
Stop being such a pain in the ass, or I'll take your home.
Fiona digs her thumbnail deeper and then...
Oh my, is Cedric's rabbit defecating on one of our pristine sidewalks?
June spins around and finds Bun Bun thumping at the feet of Patrice and Cedric across the street. She gasps in horror.
You there!
June marches down the driveway, and once Cedric realizes he has her ire, he scoops up Bun Bun and skedaddles. Brad faces Fiona, but she slams the door shut in his face. June returns to Brad's side.
You know, if any of your characters need books to read on screen, my new one comes out next week. They have a considerable fan base. My main character is a Black now.
Brad doesn't even acknowledge her as he walks away. Interior Fiona's home, living room continuous. Fiona locks the door, pissed, just as Patrice enters through the kitchen. A knock at the door. The woman's face is, what now?
Why does that keep happening?
Fiona, it's me, Holly.
Patrice is confused.
The stray.
Sorry, I forgot the autograph.
Fiona grabs the knob with intent.
Don't you dare.
Fiona unlocks the door and swings it open to find Holly.
Tell me, dear, in your professional opinion, how many killers returned to the scene of the crime?
Holly's face. What the fuck? End of Act 2. Act 3. Interior Fiona's home, living room, day. Holly braces herself next to Fiona at the bar as Patrice grabs the Bigfoot head and removes it to reveal Lori. Patrice watches Holly with suspicion, but Holly doubles over and hurls.
I told you she didn't do this.
Holly tries to catch her breath. She cringes at the puddle of bile on the floor.
Jesus.
What do you remember of last night?
Holly wipes her mouth.
The fun bits for sure. The piano, the drinking, and then I left because I had an early start today.
Was I alone?
Yeah.
Holly glances at Lori and clutches her stomach. She might vomit again, but she suppresses the nausea and thinks.
Fiona said a cop came by because of an anonymous tip. What'd he look like?
Clean shaven, professionally boring. His left leg had a nasty limp.
Holly consumes the info.
Give me your phone.
Fiona hands it over to Holly. She scrolls through.
Okay, well, this is good. There's no record of you contacting Lori on here. But of course, she could have shown up unannounced, and knowing your history, you could have snapped. You found her holding her gun?
Fiona scoffs.
I didn't do this. I shall hire you to help me prove it.
I shouldn't be here. This is too much. Just call the cops.
I know a convincing show when I see one. The cops will believe the show someone has orchestrated here.
Holly turns away from Lori, walks towards the front door.
I'll give you the piano.
This stuns Holly, even deeply excites her. She faces Fiona.
The piano and my standard fee.
Fine, you're on the clock.
Holly thinks, then...
We should go to the agency, see if we can retrace Lori's schedule.
We?
You can get me where I need to go.
Fiona walks over to the window and spots a few neighbors milling about. Some shoot pointed glances at her house.
You should stay. Make sure no one tries to come inside.
Can you handle that?
I'm the Los Angeles Scream Queen of 1973. If anyone tries to enter, I'll burst their eardrums.
Exterior the Gallen Agency day. Even though the sidewalk bustles with people, Fiona strolls along without ever moving out of the way for anyone, while Holly sidesteps strangers just to keep up. Fiona reaches the front of the Gallen Agency and sizes it up until she glares at the top floor. Exterior, a for sale building. Day, flashback. Child Fiona gazes up in awe at the top floor of this for sale building that will become the Gallen Agency. Lori gazes at the building with determination.
I'm going to own this one day. Start my own agency.
Child Fiona's awe grows.
I didn't think it was possible for us to own something so tall.
Lori walks up to the building.
Anything is possible as long as we have each other's back.
Lori presses a palm against the concrete.
Solid. This is the kind of imprint that'll last long after I'm gone.
Child Fiona beams at the possibility. End of flashback. Exterior Gallen Agency day, present. Fiona presses her palm against the building. She sneers up at the Gallen Agency sign overhead. Interior the Gallen Agency lobby, day. Fiona saunters through the sleek and well-furnished lobby as though it's her name on the building. Holly sticks close. They pass by the security desk and the security guard rushes out to cut them off.
I'm sorry, Miss Swanson, but I've been told that whenever you're in the building, I have to be your escort.
Ridiculous.
You stole a whole cake last time.
Fiona shrugs.
And who's this?
Niece. Auntie here wanted to give me the tour.
Try that on someone who doesn't read tabloids all day.
Fiona circles around the security guard.
Come, if you must.
Holly shoots the security guard an awkward, oh well look and follows. The guard sighs. He follows too. Interior, the Gallen Agency office suite day. The receptionist taps her desk with anxious speed while she holds the phone to her ear. She sees Fiona march into the room with Holly and the security guard, and anger sweeps across her face.
I demand.
Stop.
The receptionist hangs up the phone.
Some privacy, please.
The security guard backs away to go play on his phone. Holly doesn't move.
Who are you? Niece.
The receptionist sighs. Whatever.
Where the hell is Lori?
The direct question startles Fiona. She clears her throat.
I came here to speak with her.
This better not be some game. Lori has an important meeting in 5 minutes, but I can't reach her.
Why would I know where?
She told me she was going to see you late yesterday.
We never spoke.
She was very insistent on not letting anyone else know.
The receptionist searches Fiona's face for any clues, but Fiona's confusion never wavers. Anxiety returns to the receptionist as she dials on the phone again. Holly pulls Fiona away from the desk.
Make a scene.
Holly nods towards Lori's office. Fiona grins.
I shall not be ignored.
Fiona performs a dramatic spin and storms over to Lori's office. The receptionist and security guard watch in horror as Fiona pounds on the door before she swings it open and enters. They give chase. Holly hurries behind the desk. She locates an open planner. She snaps photos of it with her phone. Exterior, the Gallen Agency day. Fiona and Holly walk away from the Gallen Agency under the watchful eye of the pissed off security guard. Holly inspects the photos she took.
You have no idea why Lori would want to meet.
None.
Well, it's not good that someone claims Lori went to see you.
They reach Fiona's car and are greeted by...
There is but one God.
Fiona locates a religious protester shouting into the bullhorn across the street. Religious symbols of crosses and posters that display fire and brimstone propaganda surround him.
The Hollywood elite are nothing more than false idols.
Fiona peeks back at the Gallen building and sneers. It's so damn tall. She starts across the street.
Where are you going?
Exterior, the Gallen Agency, across the street continuous. Fiona gets right in the protester's face.
I require that horn.
Are you a worshiper of false idols?
I am a damn idol.
That voice. Bigfoot?
Fiona narrows her eyes and holds out her hand for the horn.
I just need a spotlight on me. Then everyone will remember how tall I am.
The protester, confused, holds the bullhorn away. Holly drags Fiona back to the car.
I can't believe I have to explain this, but you shouldn't draw attention to yourself. Not when there's a dead body in your home.
Fiona breaks free of Holly's grasp.
I found something on Lori's itinerary. She was supposed to meet with a cancer doc. She might have been sick.
What now?
A doc isn't going to talk to me. We should go to Lori's place, see if we can find anything that points to why she wanted to meet with you. Do you have her address?
I know where all my enemies live.
Holly gets into the passenger side.
We'll go tonight, and you really have to stop saying things like that.
Fiona slides behind the wheel. Exterior apartment building night. Fiona and Holly walk up to the front door buzzer system. Fiona points to a single buzzer, but Holly blocks it.
Whoa, what are you doing?
Announcing myself.
Just...
Holly uses her palm to press all the buzzers. A beat.
Yeah?
Delivery.
The front door buzzes open. Interior apartment building lobby continuous. Fiona and Holly enter with purpose and immediately spot the signs for the elevators.
Lori's place is on the 3rd floor.
They only make it a few steps when Holly spots a Gallen Agency ad among some magazines. It shows Lori's photo and the caption, "You are the dream we make come true." Holly only takes a few more steps when she stumbles over a wastebasket and hurls.
Sorry.
Fiona sees Lori's face on an ad.
Lori, is she the first dead body you've encountered?
I've seen one before. My dad's. He'd be so disappointed right now. Not like you're puking every time you see her face, and you knew Lori.
Fiona surveys the absolute dejection on Holly's face.
I have a daughter.
Holly's shocked.
Gave her up young. Kept it all hush-hush. She's out there somewhere. Whenever I depart this world, she'll never know, or she'll know because of all of the press, of course, but she won't know to actually care. Your father lives in your memory. Lori lives in that horrid ad and on the front of that damned building. The body doesn't matter.
Holly takes this in.
If you get charged with murder, it'll matter a whole lot.
Fiona extends her hand to Holly.
Then come on, PI. Let's get upstairs.
Holly takes hold. Interior Lori's apartment, living room night. The door swings open. Fiona and Holly, who pockets a lockpick, enter to find a posh decor. Everything is neat and tidy.
Well, certainly doesn't look like Lori was killed here.
Holly scans the room and her eyes land on a solid-bodied end table.
Come on.
They walk over to it.
I think Lori hid something in it.
But there are no drawers.
Holly points to a photo of a Black woman that's taped to the front.
Who's that?
Are you kidding? That's Aunt Viv, the original, before she was replaced on The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air.
So?
They tried to make us forget her by trotting out Aunt Lightskin in season 4, but we never forget. Don't you get it?
Fiona's at a loss. Holly knocks on the part of the table that the photo covers. A hollow sound answers. She grins.
I think Lori might have a never forget drawer.
Holly runs her fingers under the base of the table until they find a small divot. She presses it and click, a trick drawer pops forward from the solid base. Holly reaches inside and pulls out a thick folder of legal documents.
Looks like Lori may have had plenty more secrets, and you don't hide something unless it's from someone.
Exterior apartment building, same moment. A cop car parks across the street. The silhouette of a cop watches the 3rd floor. End of Act 3. Act 4. Interior Fiona's car night. Fiona drives behind the wheel while Holly reads through the documents from the passenger seat.
Some pretty dense stuff, but I've seen denser in my work.
Red and blue lights flash behind them. Fiona sees a cop car riding up on her bumper through the rear view.
God damn it.
Fiona pulls over and cuts the engine. Holly stuffs the stolen folder under the seat and watches the cop exit his car through the mirror. Panic fills her to the brim.
Go.
What? Why?
The cop, Devon, 30s, black, reaches the bumper, his hand on his holster.
Shit, Fiona, go!
The sheer panic in her voice convinces Fiona to bring the engine to life and whir onto the road. Holly watches Devon dash back to his car. Exterior Los Angeles street night. Fiona's car turns a corner, but only takes a moment for the cop car to join in. Interior Fiona's car continuous. Fiona focuses on the road.
What the hell is going on?
That's the same cop that came to your house. Nasty limp, left leg. Can't be a coincidence.
Holly peeks back at the cop car.
No siren or lights this time. He ain't interested in arresting us.
Fiona darts into the next lane, cutting off another car. She turns a corner and loses their pursuer for a moment. Fiona drives up the road, and a familiarity kicks in as she examines the buildings. This is the same spot where child Fiona sang in the teaser. She slams the brakes.
What the hell are you doing?
We're not going to lose him in this old bucket. If he doesn't want attention, we need eyeballs on us. Enough of them to make sure he doesn't touch us.
Fiona locks eyes with herself in the mirror.
Action.
Exterior Los Angeles street continuous. Fiona jumps out of the car, leaving behind a very confused Holly. She darts to the middle of the street and stands under a streetlight, just like she did in the past.
They say I'm too old to have an invisible friend. What do they know? They introduced us so our bond will never end.
Fiona scans the windows, and not a single one of them is filled with the excited faces of her fans.
She's louder, she's bolder, she's even a bit colder than they'd like me to be. A bad influence, that's exactly who they don't want to see.
No one comes. No one cares. It's the complete opposite of how things went back in the day. Yet Fiona keeps looking from window to window, confused. Fiona looks back. Oh,
sorry. But I'm Lacey Moon.
Hey.
Fiona looks back to find Devon pointing his gun at Holly.
Get in the car.
Fiona doesn't say anything. She doesn't move. She just stands there, wallowing in the clutches of deafening silence. Interior Swanson home, living room, night, flashback. Borderline expensive and spacious, but sparse. The signs of a previously poor family unsure of how to fill the space. Teen Fiona graces her engraved throne next to the baby grand piano where Lori stands before her with a tote bag and a "this is all business" expression.
What I have to tell you will not be easy to hear. So please, remember your mantra. You will need it. I'm starting my own agency.
But Lori, that's amazing.
You'll be transferred to one of the fresh-faced agents that I've hired.
Wait. You're handing me over to some newbie? But you're the best. Lacey Moon deserves the best.
Lacey Moon doesn't fit into her clothes anymore.
Lori reaches into the tote bag and takes out a pile of letters. She drops them onto the piano.
You're more tips than gumption anyway. These complaints prove it. Studios pulling the plug on Lacey.
The news stuns Teen Fiona.
The new agent has great connections in the horror space. He can get you a role in something called interdimensional canon. He assures me it's not as silly as it sounds.
No, that won't work. People will look at me and they'll see Lacey. They will see all that I am.
Lori reaches into the tote bag again, but this time takes out Brad's wooden box that has Teen Fiona's name on it. She nearly gasps at the sight. Lori opens it to reveal the film franchise documents that Brad had shown her in the teaser, and they are shredded. Teen Fiona's vulnerability surfaces, and tears well in her young eyes.
Please don't do this.
I'd wait until your parents are out of their pool to tell them.
Lori walks away and exits the front door. It's over. Teen Fiona collapses onto her throne. She reaches down to the floor and picks up a whiskey bottle.
Action.
She takes a huge drink, and a ringing forms inside Teen Fiona's ears as though a bomb has exploded. End of flashback. Interior cop car night. The ringing continues inside Fiona's ears. She's lost in a haze, with a hung head next to Holly in the backseat as Devon drives into Sunset Alley.
Fiona
doesn't register Holly. She doesn't even register the car pulling into her driveway and parking. The ringing only intensifies as the passenger door opens, and Devon grabs Fiona's arm, forcing her out onto exterior Fiona's home driveway continuous. The ringing worsens, but Devon pushes Fiona forward, so she walks in her haze until she reaches the front door. Angry, muffled voices. A hand reaches into Fiona's pocket and takes out a key. The hand unlocks the front door, and Fiona is shoved into interior Fiona's home living room continuous. Fiona shuffles her way through the haze into the room. The sound of glass shattering snaps her out of it. Fiona sees a broken martini glass at the feet of a terrified Patrice in front of her couch. The door slams shut.
Your ass is on the couch.
Fiona finally registers the gun that Devon points at her and Holly. She's so despondent, she doesn't even flinch.
All of you,
Holly takes Fiona's arm and guides her over to the couch, where all three women sit. Fiona sinks into the cushion. Devon gives a "this is quite a mess" sigh, nods to Patrice.
No more pretenses. Where's the body?
It wasn't by happenstance you showed up last night, was it? What? It was.
I need to catch Fiona here with the bodies. So where is it?
Holly glares at him.
Where is she?
Devon shifts his aim from woman to woman. Patrice gasps when he reaches her.
I'm not playing.
Just tell him.
Fiona's surrender takes the women by surprise.
Fee, no!
Doesn't matter. None of it matters.
You don't. I can't just let you throw away your life like this.
Because you're what? My friend? Lori was my friend. Rode my coattails until I wasn't useful anymore. My parents.
A deep hurt surfaces. Fiona pushes it aside.
We're all just ATMs.
How am I anything like
your niece? When Lambert Studios needed catering for a production, they call her.
You used Trish as your inside man?
Wouldn't have been able to sabotage that production without Trish helping out her favorite aunt's good friend.
Devon clears his throat at the chatter. Fiona turns away from the hurt in Patrice's eyes and stands.
Follow me.
Devon tosses Lori's documents to Holly.
I want to know what these are.
Fiona guides him over to the bar area. He keeps his gun aimed at Holly and Patrice the whole way. Fiona goes behind the counter, and no body.
I said no more games.
Where is she?
Patrice shakes her head.
I won't stop having your back.
But Fiona notices a wooden chest behind the couch. It's large enough to store a human body.
I've never seen that thing before.
Devon keeps his gun trained on the women as he rounds the couch and finds the chest. He opens it to discover the Bigfoot costume. Empty. Devon snatches it out and throws it aside with anger.
Remember the final scene in Fur Babies from Hell?
He aims his gun at the back of Patrice's head.
Ain't nothing gonna be cute about your head exploding this time.
Fiona steps forward but spots Bun Bun hopping by the staircase. She glances back at the chest, back at Bun Bun. She understands. She opens her mouth to speak.
Oh, shit. Fiona.
Holly's shocked tone steals everyone's attention. She holds up Lori's documents.
Did you know Lori held rights to the Lacey Moon franchise?
That doesn't make sense. She was just my agent.
It's all right here. Not sure how, but her stake in Lacey was huge. And there's unfinished paperwork to transfer it all to you.
Holy shit, the money alone.
This reveal sucks all the air from Fiona. End of Act 4. Act 5. Interior Fiona's home, living room night. Fiona stands aside as Devon keeps Patrice and Holly at bay on the couch with his gun. He plucks the documents from Holly's hands.
Okay. Body. Now.
He returns his gun's aim to Patrice. The wheels spin behind Fiona's eyes as she tries to compose herself until...
Wait. I know where she hit her.
Fiona saunters over to Devon with complete confidence.
They're sitting on her.
Fiona kicks the bottom of the couch. Devon's full attention drops down to it, and Fiona snatches the documents out of his hand. She tries to run away, but Devon instinctively trips her, and she crashes to the floor. The impact knocks her breathless. Holly lunges from the couch and knocks the gun from Devon's hand. She swings a fist, but he punches her in the face, and the blow sends her off the couch. Fiona attempts to scamper to her feet, but Devon kicks her back down. He spins around and grabs the papers, pulls Fiona's, strains with all her might to keep hold. Devon cocks back his fist, ready to unleash hell, when Patrice lets loose a classic Scream Queen shriek. Devon covers his against the piercing scream. Fiona gets to her feet and hurries away. Patrice silences. Devon goes after Fiona.
Hold up.
Holly points Devon's gun at him. He freezes but doesn't panic.
Wouldn't be smart to shoot a cop.
Holly's face. Shit. The tapping of a spoon against glass. Everyone turns to find Fiona behind the bar's counter. She taps a margarita glass with a tiny spoon. The documents sit next to the glass.
Obviously, I am no longer interested in letting you find some theoretical body in my home, so I shall not be leaving in your asshole bracelets. You, on the other hand, can depart now.
A beat. Devon sighs. She's right.
I don't go without the documents. Y'all did steal them.
Fiona glowers.
Fine. Take your consolation.
Devon strolls over and takes the documents once more. He and Fiona meet eyes.
Lori's gonna be reported missing real soon, and that body's gonna start smelling. Be seeing you.
Only if you want an autograph.
Devon walks over to Holly, holds out his hand. Holly removes the gun's clip and dumps it into her jacket pocket. She tosses him the weapon. Devon smirks and exits the home without further incident. Holly collapses to the couch and nurses the spot on her face where Devon punched. Patrice exhales. Fiona walks over to the wooden chest.
How's it work?
How do you?
Fiona motions to the staircase where still sits Bun Bun.
Ah,
Patrice kicks the bottom left side of the chest. There's a click and a panel swings open to reveal a secret compartment which holds Lori and Fiona's gun.
thought it might be useful if we had one of Cedric's tricks at our disposal. He's allowing us to borrow it, no questions asked, as long as we hide Bun Bun from June.
Patrice braces for Fiona's reaction, but Fiona kneels down and she studies Lori with a new perspective. A thankful smile spreads across her lips. Interior Holly's apartment, living room day. A chaotic living room, and on the ragged couch lounges Holly as she presses an ice pack against her aching face. She cradles an old police badge in her other hand. She gazes at it with deep reverence and guilt. A police siren yelps just outside the building. Holly gently places the badge on the table. She goes over to the window and peeks outside down to the sidewalk where Devon leans against his car. He stares up at her apartment. Exterior Holly's apartment day. Holly meets Devon by his car. He holds out an open palm and Holly returns his gun clip. Devon opens the back door.
He wants to see you.
I can take my own car.
She watches his hand inch towards his holster. She doesn't have a choice. She slides into the back seat like a criminal. Interior cop car day. Devon drives Holly up to Brad Jennings' home. Big windows, big lawn, big fountain. A tow truck hauls off a fancy car off the property, and this concerns Devon. Interior Brad's home living room day. Devon and Holly enter. He scans the room. It's the same as before, but now with 6 Oscars on the shelf above the fireplace. There's no one around, and Devon's concern grows. Stomp, stomp. He hears from somewhere upstairs. Devon shoves Holly onto the couch.
Stay.
He heads for the stairs. Interior Brad's home bedroom day. Devon rushes into the bedroom and takes in the sight of Brad standing on the windowsill. He keeps Wade at a distance by pointing a gun at him.
Mr. Jennings?
Brad stares at the tow truck that carries away his car.
He just strolled onto my lawn, scuffed my grass with those worn boots, and took her.
Sorry, sir, but we knew this was coming. The lease payment is 6 months late. How the hell did you let him get your gun?
Wade grunts.
It's not right. Whole goddamn world is topsy-turvy.
Brad looks to the ground below.
Mr. Jennings, that Holden chick is downstairs.
The news gets through to the old man. He takes a delightful breath. Exhales, lowers the gun. Interior Brad's home, living room, day. Devon circles Holly, who sits in a chair across from Brad, who's much more sound now. There's a coffee table between them. Wade keeps his stern, silent gaze locked on her.
Look, I did what you asked. Drug Fiona, leave. She was out when I left that night, just like I keep saying.
Brad looks to Devon.
She's telling the truth so far. I believe that Gotch had found the body, hid it there before I got there.
The mention of Lori's body and Holly zones out.
So where is it now? The body.
Holly doesn't hear him. Brad snaps his fingers.
Oh, I don't know.
Don't feel right. She tried to escape from me with Fiona. She attacked me.
This stirs Holly.
After you told me about Lori, I went over there to find the body like you wanted. I was undercover and acted as such. I thought it more important to keep up the ruse since neither of us know where the body is.
Holly eyes Lori's documents next to Brad.
I did find those, which I assume is a win for you.
How do you know what they are?
Devon told me to read them.
I told you not to look. You'll have to be reprimanded later.
Holly starts to zone out again, her guilt reemerging, but she staves it off with some bravado.
Maybe if you had originally told me why you wanted me to drug Fiona, none of this would have gone south.
You need to know only what I deem you worthy of knowing.
Brad places a wooden box labeled Holly Holden between them, and Holly tenses.
You are to find the body. Fiona going down for the murder relieves 2 of my headaches at once. There needs to be balance. Everyone in their place.
Brad opens the box and Holly recoils with fear at whatever's inside.
Understand?
Holly gulps. Her phone buzzes in Devon's hand. He checks the screen.
It's Fiona.
Go. Do your job.
Holly eyes on the box, nods. Interior Fiona's home, living room, day. Patrice watches Fiona's Bigfoot shoe store commercial from the couch. The door opens and Holly walks inside, joining Patrice.
I got her voicemail. Where?
Fiona takes their attention to the staircase. Fiona descends right down the middle, wearing a glamorous dress fit for the red carpet. She carries Bun Bun. She releases the rabbit at the bottom.
Up along, Bun Bun. You'll be safe here from that nasty June for now.
Fiona strolls over to the woman. Holly is in disbelief.
You're playing dress up? Seriously, with a dead body in the house?
Now isn't time for your more self-destructive tendencies to come out.
Fiona waves away their concern.
Finding proper storage for Lori is the first task we shall undertake. And I still require your services. That horrid cop must work for someone. You are to find out who.
Holly stands and steps away from the couch, nervous.
I don't know. This is some dicey shit.
Yeah, Fee,
Lori was finally going to do right by me. Someone has stolen my legacy, a legacy that harbors a huge windfall. If we can prove Lori wanted her rights to go to me, that windfall just might catch your sales too.
This brings Holly back to the couch.
This is all crazy. Are you crazy?
Fiona flashes her pearly whites from ear to ear.
Gotta keep them guessing.
She gives her best Lacey Moon wink. Fade out. End of episode.
Thank you so much, guys. That was really great to watch.